certain you're having an incredible time listening to our luminaries gaining insights. Let's dig in deeper. We have 3 exciting sessions coming up. One with the versatile Mandira Bedi, second with the stand-up artist Harpriya Bains, and with the viral Indian poetess Ms.Mandira. I'm sure you guys are really excited for all the upcoming sessions. Can we have a round of applause, please? So, the first session that we start with, it's now time to meet the impact player who's belted sixes in all corners on the ground of life. She's as elegant as a cover drive and defends all queries with a straight bat. You guessed it right. It's time for the sensational session with Ms.Mandira Bedi. So I would now request Ms. Anubha Anand, Director, Punjab Jewels, to escort the most distinctive and elegant Mandira Bedi, an actor, anchor, author, and fitness enthusiast on the stage. Huh? I would now request Ms. Anushka Rathi, Director, Savid Group, to welcome Ms. Bedi, and Dr. Shikha Jain to please present her the memento.
My son the drummer too.
हाँ वो सब में आता है ऑर्डर है हाँ डन इट्स ओके ठीक है Thank you. I would now request the IMA team to please play the introductory AV.
Mandira Bedi, an actor, a television presenter, a trailblazer. She's a multifaceted personality whose presence has illuminated our screens and hearts for years through her iconic roles in TV series and films like Shanti, Aurat, DDLJ, Saho, and many others. Her remarkable acting skills and unmatched charisma quickly made her a household name. Her career expanded beyond acting when she ventured into sports broadcasting, hosting events like the ICC Cricket World Cup, Champions Trophy, and the Indian Premier League. A fitness enthusiast and a fashion icon, Mandira's journey from the cricket field to the fashion runway has been nothing short of inspiring. Also known for her philanthropic endeavors, Mandira has been an advocate for faux leather as part of her association with PETA. She continues to inspire countless individuals, especially women, to pursue their dreams relentlessly. Let's welcome the epitome of talent, grace, and strength, the ever-inspiring Mandira Bedi.
Welcome, Mandira. Now I'd request Anubha to please take over.
Thanks, Ragini. And can we have another really, really roaring loud round of applause? I must tell you that for whatever time I've spent with her from the airport till now, I was already in awe of her, but I'm her fan now. She's achieved so much, but she's such a superwoman. She is so humbled, and she made me feel so comfortable that I'm so confident now. Thank you so much, Mandira, and thank you on behalf of IMA to be here. Yes.
Anubha, firstly, you're going to be great. She's going to be great. She escorted me from the airport to the hotel, and we chatted a lot, and now she can do this with her eyes closed. A big thank you to IMA for inviting me for this amazing conclave. I mean, I walked into this room, and to see an audience like this, I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so thankful. Thank you for having me here. I can't wait for this conversation to start. And by the way, I'm wearing Punjab Jewels earrings.
I was just about to ask. Kahan ke hai?
I beat you to it, Anubha.
Thanks. So, okay, let's begin. I'm sure we all are waiting to hear from you. And I'm sure, ladies, we all want to begin with the cricket side of her life, isn't it? Especially with the World Cup now bringing
First up, big round of applause for Team India.
Yes.
Woohoo!
Big match tomorrow.
I just want to say, 20 years ago, when I started my cricket journey, 2003, India and Australia were in the finals of the World Cup 2003. And Australia made 357 runs, and we were nowhere close to it, and we were not going to win this match. We made it to the finals, but we were not going to win this match. And cut to 20 years later, India starts its campaign against Australia, thrashes Australia. So they deserve a big round of applause.
And they did that thrashing in Indore. Remember that match in Indore? It was an amazing match. So yeah, so that's going to be my first question, that hosting for cricket. How did that come about, and how did you prepare for it? Because obviously it wasn't a woman's field.
Well, I tell you this, I put on the television today, any news channel, any sports channel, there's always a woman who is a part of the telecast. And it makes me feel very happy because 20 years ago, it all started with the 2003 World Cup, and I had a small part, of it. So it feels good that it was the start of something, it was the first of something, but it was not easy, I have to tell you. So I'll tell you how it happened. In 2002, India beat England to make it to the semi-finals of a tournament called the Champions Trophy, and it was being played in Sri Lanka. And the show that I did, my first ever show, was called Shanti, and Shanti was very, very, very popular. It was the highest rated, in Sri Lanka. It was the highest rated show on Sri Lankan television. So I'd made many trips to Sri Lanka. So India made it to the semi-finals of this tournament. So I said, you know what, I'm going to buy myself a ticket and go and watch the semi-finals and the finals in Sri Lanka. Now, Sony, the channel that was broadcasting this tournament, people from Sony saw me there and are like, how come you're here? And I'm like, I've come to watch the cricket. India's made it to the semi-finals. But they said, you bought your own ticket? You paid for it with your own money and came here? Because they were flying a lot of celebrities down from India to watch the tournament. And I said, yeah, I like cricket. So I think being at the right place at the right time had a lot to do with it, because they saw me in Sri Lanka. I had done no hosting before. I had done no anchoring before. So I think they were looking for somebody who liked the game. So just before the World Cup, about maybe 3 months before the 2003 World Cup, I get a call from people from Sony saying, hi, can you come over for a meeting? We want to meet up with you. And I went in for the meeting completely cold, thinking, I don't know what it is. Whatever it is, I mean, I get into the room, I sit down, and suddenly from one person being in the room, there's about 6 people in the room, and they all start firing cricket questions, starting with, so there's a test match going on at the moment, what's the score? Ouch. Ouch. But I knew the answer, and I said, you know what, Tendulkar is the host of that World Cup. to see whether we had any chemistry and whether we can work together. And the third one was a more grueling one, but 3 auditions later, and apparently they auditioned about 1,000 women. 3 auditions later, they sat me down and said, so, these are the dates of the 2003 World Cup. Would you like to be a co-host? And I was like, yes! Now you're asking me this question, and there's going to be something more that follows? No, yes or no? Yes. So they said, yes, you're on, and we've selected you. And when I got to South Africa, which is where the World Cup was happening, I have to tell you, apart from the 3 suitcases I took with me of all my clothes and everything, I had a lot of excess baggage in my head. Because you know what? Cricket is India's national passion. Everybody loves cricket, but they're also very, very possessive about cricket. And they have this thing that, you know what, if you've not played cricket, you have no business talking about it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, if you've not played cricket on any state or, you know, national level, you should not be talking about it. A woman, how dare she be sitting on the panel?
Cricket is a religion.
It is a religion. Yes. So they're like, what is she doing here? I mean, people were like, what is she doing here? Audiences were like, she doesn't belong here. Now, it didn't help also that I was very nervous. I had all these thoughts in my head that, you know, I want people to accept me. I want people to like me. I want to be known as a sports presenter. All of these thoughts were going on in my head. And, you know, there are 2 cameras over there. And, you know, whenever the camera's on, there's a little red light that comes on. And the moment the red light would come on and a voice in my ear would say, speak, I would like panic. And I'd be like a deer in front of headlights, and I'd get nervous, and I'd stutter, and I'd stumble, and I'd fumble. And I was making a royal mess of things. I was not doing well. And I was very, very nervous, and it was a disaster. It really was a disaster.
I mean, to accept this in a public forum, how badly she did. I mean, that requires a round of applause, guys.
No, but I was horrible. I really was. There's many newspaper articles also to prove it. Like, what is she doing here? She's an airhead. She's a bimbo. She's a dumbo. She doesn't belong there. Good thing my organization, Sony, really took care of me. Those were not the days of, you know, you pick up your phone and you just, you know, type in Mandira Bedi World Cup and all the articles pop up. No. Those were the days you had to get online and there'd be that wee-on, and then you were online and then you could get on. So they told me you're not allowed to get online, not allowed to see anything. So for the first week where everything was just a disaster, they just kept me away from all the stuff that was being written about me. And to top it all, this was the hardest stuff. Charu was nice enough because he had to sit next to me. But the people sitting next to me, as in the legends who I have grown up watching, experts, they were the experts, ex-cricketers become the experts. If I asked them a question, I'd say, sir, and I've done this homework. Some of my questions were a little irrelevant. Some of my questions didn't make maybe sense. And I'd turn and say, sir, this is my question. And what they would do back to me would be, they'd just, you know, turn, stare at me for what seemed like a very, very long time, and then look at their red light on the camera and talk about whatever it is they wanted to talk about. Nothing connected to my question. Imagine to be dismissed like that. It was very, very hard. And you know, you feel disrespected, you feel dismissed, and as it is, I'm nervous. As it is, I'm not, you know, I'm struggling. And you know, our wraparound programming was 1 hour before, mid-innings break, and 1 hour after. 3 sessions of 1 hour approximately a day. And at the end of every session, through the first week, you know what I would do? It would get over and they say, okay, you're clear. Expert number 1, legend number 2, they would all leave the room. Charu would say, Mandy, I'm going to go and get a cup of coffee. And I'm like, yeah, go. And I'd put my head down and I would cry. It was really bad. That 1 week was really bad. But at the end of 1 week, my channel, they decided it's time to have that talk because she is clearly struggling. Somebody needs to give her a pep talk. So they took me to a room and they sat me down and said, look here, there's no pressure on you. Remember, we have auditioned you from amongst 1,000 women. You belong there. We know you have what it takes. We know you can do it. So just start enjoying yourself. You enjoy yourself. Most importantly, enjoy yourself. Take that pressure off yourself. And, you know, this is my first learning from that time of cricket 20 years ago. You know, they say heaven and hell is in your head. You have a choice. You know, happiness is a choice. And it's literally like a switch you can turn. You know, you can choose to be in hell or you can choose to be in heaven. And I discovered that day during that talk, and the third session of the day, which was the post-match session, with tear-streaked eyes, which they'd like put some kilos of makeup to cover, I went on and I said, you know what? I'm not an expert, I'm not an analyst, I'm not a commentator. I am a presenter and I'm there to represent the layman, the layperson. No questions are off the table. So enjoy yourself. And honestly, I turned the switch from hell to heaven. It's a choice. Everybody has a choice in whatever you do. I promise you, you can choose to take all that pressure, you can choose to be worried, you can choose to be nervous, or you can choose to say, you know what, whatever it is, I'm going to enjoy myself, I'm going to have a good time doing it. This is the journey of life. We have to love what we do. And from that particular session onwards, the third session of that day at the end of 1 week, I just started enjoying myself. And then when I turned to legend number 1 and legend number 2 and asked my question, said, sir, this is my question, and they'd turn, stare at me, look at the cameras and answer whatever they wanted to. I'd say, sir, you never got my question. My question is X, Y, Z. And then you know what? It's live television, so they have to answer. So then they did. So that nobody dismissed me, because then they look bad if they're not answering my question and if I'm asking it again and again. So everything changed after that point, and I really started enjoying myself. And then I had, fortunately, a long enough tournament to change people's minds. But there are 2 more things that cricket taught me. And one of them is this, that, you know, I'd be saying something, asking a question, talking my piece to camera, and I'd fumble and I'd stutter, and then I'd be like, oh my God. It would show on my face that, you know, I made a mistake and I'm dwelling on it and, you know, just staying with it. Or I like to do homework, so they'd give me a call sheet and they said, this is Mandira's throw to this particular story, this is Mandira's throw to this particular piece, this is Mandira's throw to break. I would write everything down. I would write my entire script down and I would say it to the best of my ability. So either I'd be dwelling on a mistake that I made in the past, or I'd be thinking about, you know, I've written this amazing intro for Rahul Dravid's piece. And I'd be thinking about it, saying, you know, I'm going to say it like this. I hope I nail it. I hope I do a good job. So either I was caught in the past, or, you know, stressing about the future. I would cease to be in the present moment. And that is what cricket taught me. And that's what doing anything live teaches you. That words once uttered cannot be taken back. That's one thing. And all we have is this moment. All we have is this moment. These words that I'm saying to you right now, that's all I have. You break it down any further, all I have is this breath, in and out. So that's what cricket taught me. It taught me how to be in the moment. And I love doing live now. I love the adrenaline rush of live, because words once spoken cannot be taken back. So that's the second thing that cricket taught me. And of course, then it got reinforced many times over with all the spirituality I've encountered, spiritual, evolved people I've encountered. They tell you in your good times, in your bad times, that all you have is the moment. Just live in the moment, feel the moment, love the moment, enjoy the moment. So that's what cricket taught me back then. The third thing that cricket taught me, because I told you, you know, there was all that horrible stuff written about me. And rightly so, because I was horrible. But it taught me that even through the tournament, there were people who, like, I changed a few people's minds. People enjoyed my presence and liked having me there. And I was, you know, this non-purist person asking the simple questions. But towards the end of the tournament, there were still some people who did not like me. And that's what cricket taught me, that, you know, in life, be it a person who's in the public eye, or someone, I mean, in whatever job you're in, or whatever, organization you work for, whatever it is you do, there'll be people who like you and there'll be people who don't, okay? So, thank you to the people who like you. Thank you for liking me, thank you. And for the people who don't, that's okay. It's all right. It's all right that people don't like you. It's more important to be an authentic, true, real version of yourself, do the best that you can. That's more important than being a people pleaser. Authenticity rates very, very high in my book. I try to be as authentic as I can be. What I am here is what I was backstage, is what I am back home, is what I am with my friends. I try to be the most authentic version of myself. I don't really care about, my mom. I grew up with my mom telling me, don't do this, what will people think? Don't wear this, what will people think? Don't be this way, what will people think? Don't behave like that, what will people think? So I hate now what people think. I don't care about what people think, because what people think doesn't pay your bills.
Super.
What people think doesn't get you a job. What people think is not of any consequence. What you think of yourself and how you behave and how you feel about yourself, and if you are a true, real, authentic person, that's all that matters. So that's what cricket taught me back then. I try to live by that as much as I can, and I've tried over the years, and what people think ceases to matter to me.
Excellent. Very, very, very nice. So I think already we're so sorted mentally after hearing all your learnings, and I'm sure we can apply this in our, not only in cricket, but this applies to every area of our life. So ideally, I would have gone on to fitness after this, but I just want to do a follow-up question and change to the mental health part, because what I really understood from your answer, that it was your mental strength which then made you go on. So what is your take on mental health, and how can we become a better version of ourselves mentally?
Well, mental health, I'm glad conversations are happening now. The first time I went to a therapist was about maybe 16, 17 years ago, a long time ago, and the only therapist I knew was one I had interviewed for a TV show. I didn't know any therapists, and I wanted to go and meet a therapist, and I was like, how do I find out? And those days you're also thinking about how to ask someone for a therapist. You say, you know what, I'm asking for a friend. Right? But I didn't do that. I had interviewed someone for a show that I did called Aapki Shanti, which was this interview-based show, and there was a lovely lady who I interviewed, and we talked about mental health way back when, and I felt that I wanted to speak to somebody. And I remember telling my mom features a lot in my conversations. I remember telling my mom after I'd done the session, I said, you know what, I went to meet a therapist. Why? Why did you go and meet a therapist? What's wrong? And I'm like, no, I was not feeling so good, emotionally, and I felt I needed to have a conversation. But you can talk to me. No, I don't want to talk to you, Mom. You can talk to your friends, you can talk to anybody. But I said, no, I want to talk to somebody who is unbiased, who, your friends will tell you, you know what, yes, that person was wrong, you're right, and they're biased, and, they'll take your side. And sometimes what you need is an unbiased view, someone who can show you a mirror, someone who can give you perspective, and someone who is a professional can do that. People who are close to you aren't always equipped to do that. So I went to a therapist for the first time about 17, 18 years ago. And I found every time I'm not feeling right about things, or not feeling good, or feeling low for a period of time, I feel it's better to address that rather than letting it fester. So I've been going to therapy for many years. I've subsequently met a very beautiful spiritual therapist who just gives you a different perspective. She gives me a couple of affirmations. She shows me the mirror. She gives me a way out. She helps me process my thoughts and feelings. So I've gone to a spiritual therapist. I've even gone to a hypnotherapist. And may I tell you, about 10 years ago, I was angry for no reason. I had so much anger in me. I had so much negativity in me. I was prone to depression. I've gone into depressive states and thought very, very dark things. And I realized that there was something in me that needed changing. I was angry all the time. I was snapping at people. I had short fuse. So the first step is identifying there's something that needs to be changed. There's something that needs to be worked upon. A lot of people go through life without even knowing that they're treating people badly, they're angry all the time, they're negative. They don't see it. So one thing is to see it. And if you see it, give yourself a pat on the back that you see it, you can see it, that this needs changing. The second part of it is that you address it and do something about it. Acceptance and action, right? So taking action. And you know what? My therapy was helping me process some of my feelings, but the real action came with the hypnotherapy. And let me tell you, hypnotherapy is not like, I don't have a cut with any hypnotherapist. I really don't. In fact, the hypnotherapist that helped me, she's moved back to Singapore, so I can't even recommend one. If you find one, I say, please try it, because it's not what people think it is, that you're lying on a couch and there's somebody with a pendulum who's swinging and you're like zonked out and you're like just, I don't know, talking stuff that you shouldn't be saying. It actually just gets you into a very deeply relaxed state. You know, we use only like 2% of our minds. A lot of what, you know, our thoughts, our feelings, they're just, you know, pushed down. And we don't process a lot of the stuff that happens. People say to us, you know, snap out of it, move on, move on. Sometimes you don't need to move on. Sometimes you need to grieve. Sometimes you need to process. Sometimes you need to really think the hell out of it, you know, which we don't always do. So hypnotherapy helps you access a lot of thoughts, a lot of incidents, a lot of feelings that have been unprocessed. And I also came to pinpoint why and where, you know, these turning points in my life which made me so angry. And then, you know, in hypnotherapy, it's very beautiful. You see a 9-year-old self and something that your 9-year-old self experienced and you pushed it aside, and then you meet that 9-year-old self, you relive that experience, and you just tell that 9-year-old self of yours that, you know what? It's okay. It's okay to let go of this anger. It's okay to let go of whatever you're feeling. It's okay to feel what you did when you did, but now it's time to let go of it and tell her it's okay. So hypnotherapy was actually a very beautiful experience and helped me deal with my anger. And honestly, none of this happens overnight. It happens over a period of time. And it's not to say I don't get angry at all. I mean, that would be crazy and that would be a lie. There are situations and moments that warrant anger, but I am a positive person now. I am a happy person now. I do look at the glass as, I won't even say half full, I look at it as full, because half full is no such thing. It's full. So I am a positive person now because I've worked really, really, really hard upon myself. And I say this, you know, that it's wonderful that it started now. Post-pandemic, people have started having these conversations about mental health. You're hearing about so many people committing suicide, and I think this is a conversation that needs to be spoken about more. People don't talk about the fact that they go to therapists. I have done therapy for years. I've needed therapy. And I can stand here and talk today because I've gone through so much and I've worked so much upon myself.
This is beautiful. It's not about denial. It's about accepting and doing it. It's beautiful.
You know, I've gone through some very serious personal downs, personal lows. And I will tell you this, that be it, you know, grief, or be it anything that you need to process, there's no shortcut. The only way out of it is through. You have to take the long route through. You have to feel, you have to experience, you have to process to get to the other side. There's no shortcut. You know, people go through bad periods in their life and they say, okay, you know what, I'm just going to drown myself in work and I will just, you know, it's a great distraction. Work is great. Work is worship. I love what I do. But you still have to go through and feel and process and deal with. Because when you put shove stuff aside, when you sweep it under the carpet, it is going to backfire on you. Yeah. So mental health, we talk about physical health, how important physical health is. It's great to be healthy. It's great to exercise. You can have a six-pack, but that six-pack means nothing. You can have a great body, but that means nothing if you're not in a good place here. Health is now physical health and mental health, holistic. It can't just be, having muscles and being strong and being, physically healthy. Health is holistic, health is physical health and mental health. And with your mental health, it's a constant work in progress. You're constantly working. Today I'm feeling positive. Tomorrow something can happen in my life that can bring me down and make me feel low. And if I can deal with it myself, I deal with it myself. If it bothers me and keeps me upset and angry for a period of time, then maybe I need help, and I go and I seek help and I take help, and somebody shows me the mirror, shows me the perspective, shows me a way out, helps me process those feelings, and then I can move on. Yeah, now I've reached a stage where something happens in my life and I feel bad about it. I'll cry. And I'll cry. And I tell my son also, after I lost my husband, he would cry so much. I never stop him from crying because I tell you, when you feel, you are processing. You are processing. When you say, no, don't cry, stop crying, you are holding it all back in, you are bottling it up. You need to feel, you need to process, you need to work on. The only way out is through.
Beautiful. I'm so overwhelmed by this. It's beautiful. So again, I'm not going towards fitness. Is it okay? I hope
we'll talk about fitness.
Yeah,
don't worry.
I think
even if you don't get a question, I'll say stop.
Yes.
I have to talk to everybody over here about fitness.
Fitness, yes, perfect. So I'm going next to social media trolls, and I'm going to the naysayers and the allegations, and also to the second part of social media, which expects you to be a certain way. That it's acceptance if you're like this, but if you're not like this, then society doesn't accept you. So how do you deal with that, and how should we as laymen, like you there, but it happens to us people also who are not popular. So how do we deal with such things, or how do you deal with it?
I have to tell you, the first social media I ever got onto was Twitter, which is now called X. So Twitter, and I remember I used to put stuff out, and then I got a few followers, and then I got a few more followers, and suddenly I had 1,000 followers and 2,000 followers. And the only people that I would react to would be people who'd be saying nasty things to me. And I'm like, all the people would say, oh, Mandira, you're so nice. Oh, Mandira, you're like this. And oh, Mandira, you're like that. I'm like, whatever. But the people who said, you're so stupid, and you're so ugly, and you're so fat, and you're so old, those are the ones I would respond to. And then I realized, and you realize it's because social media is a new thing for everybody, right? We're all discovering social media together.
Yes.
And then you realize, man, under anonymity, people can say anything. They have so much courage. And why are they saying these things? Only to get a reaction. Only to get a reaction. So then you discover that, you know what? They want a reaction, and that's why you're doing it. So the best thing you can do as far as the trolls are concerned is ignore. Ignore. So I honestly don't look at anything, all the negative comments that come my way. I'm open to feedback. I'm open to feedback that is valid. I'm open to feedback that, they say, you know what, in this we didn't like this that you said, or this that happened. I'm open to feedback. Okay, somebody feels this way, has an opinion about something I said or did or worked on, fine. That's an opinion, I accept that. But when somebody says, you're so ugly, and you deserve to die, and look at you at your age, you're wearing a swimsuit. I mean, what do you want in life? Are you trying to attract young men? And I'm like, it's my social media. Or they say things like, you're so stupid, I want to unfollow you. I'm like, what's stopping you? So those are not valid. Those are not valid statements. Those make no sense. That's not feedback. So then I leave you to your devices. And honestly, so much has changed also over the years because I look at social media as a very positive space now. So I put out positivity, I put out my workouts, I put out positive, what I'm feeling, affirmations,
If people,
thoughts.
you guys are not following her page, you must, because the affirmations that she posts every second day.
Well,
they
every
are
third
just-
post actually.
Every third post, exactly, are just beautiful. Yeah.
Thank you. No, so I use social media as a place of positivity. And you know what? Over the years, all those "you're so stupid, you're so ugly, you're so old," those have also stopped. So people turn to my page to seek positivity as well. So that's how it works. You put out positivity, you will get positivity back. So as far as trolls are concerned, as far as anonymous negative comments are concerned, who is this person? I was a part of a show called Troll Police, by the way, which was on MTV. I don't know if you saw it. It was, oh my God. I didn't even know this troll existed because I ignore the trolls. There's a troll who wrote such nasty stuff. He wrote some nasty stuff about a photograph where I was kissing my son.
Oh,
Yes, yes. Can you imagine how low can that be? And MTV has this show where they dig out a troll, one troll who's been constantly at a particular celebrity, and they manage to get them out into the open.
wow.
And under the pretext of whatever, they get the person out, and then they confront the person. And I didn't even know he was writing these things about me. I was like, what? But we exposed the guy, and he looked like a very, very decent guy from a decent family. And he had, can I tell you, he had one regular account to put his pictures with family, friends, blah, blah, blah. And he had one account to insult people. Yes. Yes, a lot of people do that. They have that second account so that they can, I don't know, get some badass out. I don't know. I don't know why people do it. But yeah, we exposed him, and it was a very negative day for me, and I don't like days like that because I told him off, and I was like, what the hell, man? And I told him off. I said, don't you have a sister and a mother? And what is this? What is this that you put out? How can you write things like this? And I left it at that. But you know, the host, and you know how television is, sensationalism, the host, my God. She went after him like a ton of bricks and it felt like a fish market. She went, da, 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 da. I was like, oh my God, let this stop. I can't bear this anymore. I want this to end. But yeah, I mean, that's what social media has given birth to, sadly. And the only advice I give people, use social media as a positive space, and you'll get positivity. And really, there will always be those bums, pardon my language, those trolls, those negative people who under anonymity, because they are anonymous, can be so brave. I mean, come and say it to my face instead. Come stand in front of me saying, you're so ugly, you're so old, you deserve to die. I'll hear you out and I'll ask you why you think those things. But you are, that troll's name was, by the way, Battamiz Pasta. It's like, Battamiz Pasta ko main kya kahun abhi? Bolo.
You won't even doubt such a person. But at the same time, you were sharing with me that how you are using social media for positive. We just shared now also, but then that 11 and 21 day streak, yes, which went on to 365 days, and then finally we've come to the fitness question. So yeah.
Yeah, well, a lot of, people, okay, now, fitness. The fitness question has come, okay. So here we are. I use social media to motivate myself as well. I mean, so I used to put out these, proclamations. I am going to now do 21 days of exercise. 21 days, I'm not going to miss exercise. So it was a 21-day challenge. 21-day challenge happened like a breeze. So I said, you know what, now I'm going to put 40-day challenge. I did 100, I did 365 also, but that's besides the point. What I'm trying to say is, if you use social media positively, that's one way you can motivate yourself. So whether you have 1 million followers or whether you have 100 followers, you say, I am going to exercise for the next 10 days without a break. It's not like anybody's going to be sitting and watching and say, Acha, aaj isne exercise kiya ya nahi kiya? No. but you've put it out there. It's like putting it out into the universe. So I use social media to motivate myself to make sure I don't miss, because I put it out there. I have a responsibility to no one and yet everyone. So that's how I used to use it, and that 100-day streak I used to get so much. By the way, I used to get a lot of negativity there. रोज एक्सरसाइज के पोस्ट डालते, कुछ और करना नहीं है आपको, कुछ और करते नहीं है आप. You know, those kind of comments would come my way, and I had made it a point that every day I'm going to put 100, you know, in those 100 days, put one fitness post out, whatever it may be. So that's how I use social media. But coming to how fitness became a very important part of my life, from the World Cup, people just thought that because she's associated with cricket, she must be fit. But I used to go to the gym maybe 3-4 times a week. I was not very regular. I used to walk now and then, but I was not so fit. But in 2008, I was invited to be a part of a reality show called Khatron Ke Khiladi. Wow. Akshay Kumar was hosting it. I mean, how fit is he? So I just decided that if I'm going to be on national television wearing shorts and a swimsuit, I might as well look good doing it. So first time in my life, I got myself a trainer, and I also said, look, I take everything I do very seriously. I want to be a strong contender. If I'm going, I want to win. So I signed the contract on, say today, for 1 month later. So I said, I have 1 month to get strong, get fit, whatever I can do in this month. And that's how fitness became a part of my life. So, you know, it's not what gets you there. It could be a show. It could be a wedding that you're going for. It could be, I don't know, you've gotten onto a dating app. I don't know. Whatever it may be that gets you to fitness.
My target is my 25th anniversary.
Okay. Anuba's target.
I have put it out on the universe.
Put it out. In fact, she's put it out right here in front of all of you. Now hold her responsible.
Yes.
Hold her responsible. If you don't see, when is the 25th anniversary? April. What? How much time do we have? Please count. No. No,
it's coming to me now. Let's stay on
1 second, just 1 second. Then I'll continue. What are we on? We're on October, November, December, Jan, Feb, March, April. 7 months. She has 7 months to get fit. If she doesn't get fit in 7 months, her 25th anniversary, please hold her responsible. Please. Yes, now we've put it out into the universe.
I've learned it from you immediately. So
yes, she's a quick learner. So whatever it is that gets you there, it's not important. The important thing is, it's a very big gift you can give yourself. The important thing is staying there. You know, we can all buy ourselves fancy gym clothes and get ourselves a great gym membership. But then we have to stay there. We have to, we have to stay on course. We've got to go 4 times a week. We've got to exercise. We've got to get from place A to place B, right? So my only advice to people who want to get on to a journey of fitness, a journey of good health, is give yourself small goals. All right? When you say, I have to lose how much weight do you want to lose?
don't take me that seriously.
No, how much weight do you want to lose?
Let's say 10.
Let's say 10. So I'm saying, Anuba, don't give yourself a goal of 10 kilos. We are giving you the goal of 10 kilos, but don't give yourself an immediate goal of 10 kilos. Say, I want to lose 1 kilo over the next 2 weeks. Okay, give yourself small goals. Don't look at the staircase. Look at the first step in front of you. So you have to give yourself these small goals and say, you know what, I want to lose 1 kilo in 10 days or 1 kilo in 2 weeks. And then you work really hard to lose lose that 1 kilo in 10 days. And when you lose that 1 kilo in 10 days, you give yourself a pat on the back, say, well done. Now I want to lose 1 kilo more in the next 8 days maybe. And work hard towards that. And you know what? Nothing succeeds like success. Nothing succeeds like actual results. So suddenly, you know, your pants are feeling loose. You're like, wow, I've got this gap. You know what?
We're in awe.
I've got this gap. So you know what? I'm going to work a little bit harder for the next 1 kilo. And then, you know, your clothes fit you better. You feel better. Everything, you know, motivates you. It's like suddenly the universe is conspiring to make you exercise and work out. And so You're starting with small goals. That's one part of it. You are also, don't really plunge into a gym membership. Start with something simple. Start with something sustainable. Start with something you can do for a period of time. Because if you say, you know what, I'm going to get to this fancy gym of mine, my new gym clothes, 2 hours a day, 5 times a week, it's not going to happen because you're going to get busy and then you're going to fall off the wagon. Start with, I'm going to walk 10,000 steps a day, or I'm going to walk for 1 hour a day. And the best part, I don't ever diss walking. Because the best part about walking is you finish tying your shoelaces and your exercise starts. You know, you're ready to go. So start with saying, I'm going to walk 3 times a week, maybe go to the gym once a week or twice a week. Give yourself these small goals that are sustainable. And then when you start feeling better, when you start losing weight, then you say, you know what, this is working out. I can raise the bar. I can maybe go to the gym 3 times a week and walk twice a week. And like I said, nothing succeeds like success. And the most important thing, I have to stand up and tell you this, the most important thing, you can't beat what you eat. So go to the gym 5 times a week, but if you come back from the gym and have a bowl of ice cream, or eat gulab jamuns, or eat French fries, it's going to count for nothing. It is 70% eating, 30% exercise. Abs are made in the kitchen. It's not crunches, it's lunches. So remember that you, in your journey of good health, in your journey of fitness, you have to also eat right. It's holistic, it's not just like we're talking about physical health and mental health, and within physical health, it's about good, mindful, healthy eating and exercise. It's both. I want to share with you, when Khatron Ke Khiladi happened in 2008. In 2000 and, my son was born 2011, so 2010, I am pregnant with my son. And this is the first time and the only time in life that you can eat and say you're eating. It's wrong. Don't say you're eating for 2. That's bad. Hum sab bolte hain, you're eating for 2 na, eat. So you end up eating for 2 and you end up eating x2 multiplied by 2. So guess how much weight I put on during my pregnancy? I put on 22 kilos. 22 kilos. My daughter is 7 years old and she's not 22 kilos. So imagine, 22 kilos is like crazy. That's a mad amount of weight. So in the delivery, what did I lose? 3 kilos. My son was 3 kilos. Okay? So 22 minus 3 is 19. With the placenta and everything. 19 kilos is what I had to lose to go back to my pre-pregnancy weight. 19 kilos. And I'm going to give you a very, very, very important piece of advice for those who haven't had babies and are going to have babies. There's something called muscle memory and there's a body memory. So when you put on the weight for pregnancy, you put it on very quickly. So somebody gave me this piece of advice that you lose the weight also very quickly. You should lose the weight very quickly, because if you let your body get used to it, your body then gets used to this new weight and then it's very hard to lose it. So as soon as you put on the weight and you've delivered your baby and you've gone through those 40 days, but after that, just get onto the program of losing weight, because I looked at the staircase, I didn't look at the first step. I gave myself a goal of 19 kilos in exactly 6 months, and I was 52.5 kilos before I got pregnant, and exactly 6 months to the day, 52.5 kilos I was when Veer was 6 months old. I lost 19 kilos and I worked really hard to do it. Come 41st day, 40 days, I had a C-section, 40 days I did not exercise. 41st day, in the pouring rain, I bought myself a raincoat and I wore a hoodie and a raincoat and I walked. And I walked and I walked and I walked off a lot of my weight, and then I started going to the gym, and a couple of days a week I'd work out in the morning and in the evening, because I was hell-bent on losing those 19 kilos in 6 months. So don't let your body get used to that extra weight. Start losing the weight as soon as you can, because your body's not used to that extra weight. Now's the time to get rid of it. Yeah.
Can I ask one last question and then we can open it for the audience? So, one very emotional question. You had your son, Veer, in 2011, and then you had Tara, you adopted her later, in 2020, I guess. So, how did this come about, and something more about it? It was such a beautiful gesture of adopting a daughter.
My Tara is from your Madhya Pradesh.
Yay!
My Tara, the light of my life, the star in my family, is from your MP. She comes from Tikamgarh.
Wow.
Tikamgarh, which is far away from everywhere. Tikamgarh, which is 6 hours away from Jabalpur, 6 hours away from Indore, 6 hours away from Bhopal. Tikamgarh, which is very hard to get to during the pandemic, let me tell you. So, how it happened was, when my husband and I were dating, we had decided, you have these conversations, what do you want in life, and what do you want to do, and what you're thinking, and what are your thoughts, and what are your ideals. And I said, I always wanted to have one and adopt one. And my husband said, oh, wow, that's a nice thought. Yes, we should do that, have one and adopt one. And then when we had one, and Veer was born, I said, a couple of years later, I said, it's time now to adopt one. And it's one thing to think about it and talk about it, and it's another thing to do it. And it's not easy. The process is not easy. It's all under a government agency now called CARA. It's centralized. The papers take you 3 months to put together. I'm not kidding. The kind of paperwork that's required, the amount of forms you fill in where you're practically answering the same question in different words. It took us 3 months to put those papers together when Veer was 6 years old. And then Raj got busy and I got busy, and we just got caught up in our lives, and we just didn't follow up on it. And then come the pandemic, we're like, if it doesn't happen now, it's not going to happen, because Veer is now turning 9. And he was kind of getting, at age 6, he was really excited about having a sister, but at age 9, he was not so excited. He was like, why now? He was enjoying being a single child. Anyway, I decided to put my foot on the gas, so to say, and I called up you have to be affiliated to an orphanage or a center. So what's the delay? Why is this taken so long? We are a good family. We already have a this child will be coming into a ready-made family unit. Why? What's the delay? And then they tell you there's something in the form. They ask you which states you want your child from, and just for the sake of the form, you answer any 3. There wasn't a match in those 3 states. So there's something in fine print which says anywhere in India. And if you just tick that anywhere in India box, your name goes up really fast in the list. And literally from ticking the anywhere in India box, Tara's photograph was in our email inbox in 1 month. Yeah. And my husband and I shook our hands on it. The day we knew it was coming, the next day, on Sunday night, we shook our hands saying, whatever the photograph, however she looks, we are saying yes. Apart from if there is a serious health problem, that's the only thing I'd want to, I'd say no to, or we'd decline. But if the child is healthy, however she looks, the photograph that's in our inbox is our Tara. And the photograph in our inbox was of this cute little naughty imp with a taulia behind her. And that's our Tara, and she's our Tara. And when she came to us, she was like, J ka hai, J kaun hai, Mama, yellow hai, yellow. Ek gulabi hai. She didn't know colors. Yeah, didn't know colors, didn't know the concept of color. She had not gone to school till the age of 4, nothing. She had 0 education. So she didn't know. She knew that this is a suit. She knew this is an outfit, but she didn't know that it was red. She came with 0 education. Now she comes and sits in my car and says, Mom, drop the beats. So it is amazing to see how she's molded into our family. It's amazing to see her personality. She came with a bit of a personality already at the age of 4. Now she's 7, and now she's a firebrand. And there are times where I'm lying on my bed with one child on one side and one child on the other, and I'm so grateful. I feel I am very, very, very privileged. I'm very lucky to be an adoptive mother and a biological mother. This is a journey that very few and special and privileged people can have, and I have that journey. And if Tara, everything happens for a reason. If Tara had not come into our lives after my husband's passing, it would have been just Veer and me. Now we're still a family unit of 3. She saved us. She's kept us all going, and I'm so, so grateful.
Beautiful.
I am so grateful for Tara that it is a very, very special thing to be able to be an adoptive mom, and I recommend it highly.
Thank you for sharing that part of your life with us. It's inspirational. So, yes, they've just prepared something very sweet for you. We'll see that first and then open it for... Yeah,
सुलगती सांसें, तरसती आंखें, मचलती रूहें, धड़कती छतियां।
Thank you so much. I'm so grateful. That is so kind of you.
Well, thank you, Mandira. That was actually a very liberating session, I would say. We had so many takeaways. But before I conclude, I would like to invite Mr. Ashwin Palsekar, Secretary IMA, on the stage, please.
Okay, sorry, I have one more thing to say. You can please come on stage. Because I kind of like to end on one note, which I never got to touch on, and I like to stand up because I can't sit for so long. No, you sit. Or you can stand. It's up to you. I just want to tell you, and I want to share with you, that I have a superpower. And wherever I go and whenever I give a talk, I talk about that superpower. And that superpower is called gratitude. All right? I read somewhere, I don't know who to attribute it to because it's without an author. I read somewhere that whenever and wherever there is gratitude, whenever and wherever you're truly feeling grateful from your heart, there's no room for unhappiness, there's no room for negativity, there's no room for anger. So when you're feeling truly grateful, you can't be angry or negative at the same time. And the pandemic taught us this, that we wanted to go out and do things and buy things. And at the end of the day, we were at home. And what do? We have a roof over our heads and we work for the food on our table. That's when I realized, and I guess a lot of us realized, कि थोड़ा है, थोड़े की ज़रूरत है, right? So ever since then, I have started this thing that before I open my eyes in the morning, before I start my day, I say, thank you for the roof over my head, thank you for the food on my table, thank you for my children's health, thank you for my parents' health, thank you for my able body that I can support my children and my home, and then I open my eyes. And if you start your day on a note like that, on a note of gratitude, if you look at life through a lens of gratitude, that can really, really color your day in a most positive way. So I really believe in gratitude. I am thankful for everything everything. I say thank you a lot because I am truly thankful for everything. I'm thankful for this moment. I'm thankful for this wonderful conversation I had with Anubha. I'm thankful for this audience who has listened to me so kindly and so attentively. I am so grateful for everything. At the end of my book called Happy for No Reason, I wrote a chapter on gratitude because gratitude means so much to me. Like I'm ending this talk on gratitude. Gratitude means so much to me. You know, a lot of people don't know how to say kya hai? What is there to be thankful for? Yeah, life is. But you say thank you for the small things and the big things. So at the end of the book, I wrote a list to show people how to be grateful for the good things, big things, the small things. So I said, thank you for the roof over my head, food on my table, our health. We must say thank you for waking up in the morning also. That's also something to be thankful for. And also the small things like thank you for great Wi-Fi. Thank you for inventing deodorants. Thank you for, thank you for like this moment. You have to say thank you for everything. So at the end I wrote this list where I said, I thought I'm going to write a list which is going to be 10 items long. I said, 10 is nothing. So I said, let's make it 20. 20 also went by like that. Then I said, let's make it 50. 50 ke baad bhi I had more to write. So eventually I wrote a list of 108 things because 108 is a nice auspicious number and I can write 108 more. So the more you appreciate, the more there is to appreciate. The more thankful you are, the more there is to be thankful for. So that is my parting note to you. Practice gratitude because gratitude is what's changed my life. That's what I wanted to say. Sorry, I took a few extra minutes.
A beautiful book, which we wanted to have that question, but because of the paucity of time, her book is called Happiness for No Reason. So we must all go through it. It's a beautiful book, authored by her.
Thank you, Mandira. Thank you. See, she's practicing gratitude.
Now all ours. Thank you, Mandira, and I think you are the analogy of television in our times. It's been 29 years for you in the industry. All of us have grown up, but you look the same age as you were in Shanti.